I refuse! Before I can answer, she puts her whole weight against me, and it unbalances me enough to send us both under the bed. If I don't answer quickly, then the situation will only become more precarious. I know that I should have never let things get as tangled as they already are. You know, what kind of bothers me is that this scene, when he actually went along with it, it didn't play a role into anything. It kind of got brushed to the side pretty soon after, really, didn't it? I mean, there was a bit of awkwardness between him and Misha for a bit, but then it kind of, like, disappeared. That's it, didn't it? Just, I'd imagine, just went to how the route usually plays out, I'd imagine. I know that I should have never let things get as tangled as they already are. So even though it isn't the most tactful way to refuse her, I push her off of me. Misha falls backwards onto the sheets, so softly that it seems like she barely fell at all. Eyes closed, she stays like that for a while, before getting up with a hollow laugh.
You're right, He-chan. Sorry.
I'm not sure how I feel. Regretful, slightly, even though I've grown to hate regret. Sad for a multitude of reasons. I'm also a little angry, both at her and at myself. And in a way, it even seemed like I'm not really feeling at all. No, it's still the same scene, so there's going to be a scene after this then, that's different. And then it'll lead into Act 4. Don't be.
Oh, He-chan, it's okay, really. But just asking was enough for me, I think. I'm happy that you said no.
Is that right? Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, He-chan.
She pulls herself up and leans against the wall. Assuming she is. My head hurts so much that I don't bother opening my eyes. I lie on my bed listening to the rustle of my hair brushing against the sheets and the grass waving in the wind outside. I guess I should say more to reassure her, but I wonder if that would really help. Maybe it would be better to say nothing. I just don't know, although I think that in this situation, there's no one right thing I can do.
Good night, He-chan.
With that, she leaves, the door clicking shut behind her like a guilty whisper. Maybe it's because I'm eager to put today behind me, but after Misha's gone, I find it much easier to fall asleep. I do so almost instantly. We've seen this transition many times, yes we have. Still bugs me that, with the freaking language, I mean, like hiragana, I think it's called, like that's for the first 2 or 3 characters there, but the other last 2 don't seem to be in that, because I can't find any alphabet on it. So I'm assuming that's what kanji, whatever the hell pronunciation plays in. I just don't understand that language at all. It's just so confusing. The following morning I wake up thinking that most of my time is going to be spent trying to avoid Shizune and Misha. What happened last evening still makes me feel uneasy. I thought that sleeping on it would help alleviate that feeling. I feel like an idiot for believing it would be that easy. What's this scene called? Look ahead! Nocturne! Let's see. Oh, so there are bits that are the same. It's just like plays out a little differently, and that's why it's got a different name for it, I guess. I've grown so used to seeing Shizune and Misha together that I hadn't realized until yesterday how much that hasn't been the case lately. And it's a shame because the empty seat next to her reminds me that they are there. So yesterday is something I'll take to my grave. If I feel this way about it, I wonder how Misha must feel. Just as regretful. When she came to me, she was more depressed and sexy to start with. I can only imagine how much worse it would be now. Thinking about it like that, I want to see her again, but only half-heartedly. The other half of me is still terrified, even though I hate to use that word. It's the same freaking dialogue as if he freaking did, you know, freaking sleep with her. Well, there are a bit of differences. I mean, remember when he just like, oh, I did sleep with her best friend after all. But he isn't going to say that this time. Well, think that, I guess. It makes me feel ashamed, but I'm sure it's the only way to describe myself right now. I spend the next couple periods in the library, not in the mood to sit in classes for the rest of the day, but unwilling to walk back to the dorms. Can you imagine if that's how his voice actually sounded inside his head while he's in one of these moods? Or any freaking scenario, really. While I'm lazily flipping through the pages of an uninteresting historical fiction novel, Shizune drops herself into the chair across from me, patting.
I think it's sort of pointless to come to school and then skip every class.
Sorry.
Please tell everyone that you're sick.
I'm just not feeling it today. Yesterday was fine, though. Tomorrow it'll probably be fine. Taking a sick day in the middle of the week is just too suspicious. The 24-hour flu thing or whatever won't fly.
It's not suspicious.
It is. Is this scene gonna play out any differently? I mean, I'd imagine it wouldn't be, because that's kind of the whole point. I mean, there was a scene missing after all. Or maybe we haven't even got to that yet. I turn back to my book, but Shizune gently pulls it down, in contrast with her expression, which straddles the line between concern and anger.
Is something wrong?
What?
Is something bothering you? Because you're acting a little suspicious today in a different way. If there is, just tell me, or I'll be mad. I'm not good at reading people.
What a ridiculous thing to say, after picking up my mood so easily. She is only half kidding, but there is some truth in it. After all, she can't hear tone, and has to rely on reading to communicate with others. It's as if you could only ever have a conversation with someone through text messages that has to mess with you in some way. Probably why she stares so intently at people in order to gauge their reaction. Maybe it's why she pushes people so hard to get them to react. I've thought about it before, but it's too hard to say for sure what Shizune's exact motivations are for anything. So I wonder how much of that was a joke. Sometimes it's easy to tell. This time it isn't. Assuming it wasn't a joke, I can't tell her anyway. Because of sign language, there's enough time to collect to myself and lie effectively. Nothing. I've just been thinking a lot about a student council feature lately. I believe Misha's doing the same. Well, in her own way.
So am I, but she isn't here today. I wish she would have let me know something before... Because I might need her help later today. Yours too, unless you're busy.
I'm not.
Thank you. I feel like I'm losing a lot of people close to me lately.
I can't think of a good way to respond to that. Something reassuring and confident, telling her not to worry. I'm here for you, I'm not one of those people. Then who is? And it seems so forced. I managed to wave off my hand that seems extremely callous as soon as I do it. You shouldn't feel that way. I might be just a little sick, not enough to go through the trouble of making it official. It's just easier for me this way.
It's the wrong way.
I've heard that. I heard the hard way and the right way are usually the same thing. It's just not a big stretch to say that the opposite is true.
Well, fine. If you say you're alright, that's good enough for me.
Wait. You asked me, so I'm turning it around. Is everything okay with you?
Yes.
She signs it without a moment's hesitation. After that, Shizune waits to see if I'm going to follow up on it. I don't, and she leaves. I feel like an idiot for not going further, even though I think it's better that I didn't. I've been in the library for quite a while and decided to go up to the roof for a change of pace. It's this scene again, isn't it? A fresh breeze hits me the second I open the door. This is actually, you know what? As much as it is like this scene, is it? Yeah. Plays out. Wait, no, it plays out slightly different. Oh my God! Oh, this is different. Misha pressed herself harder against the fence at her back as if hoping to slip right through it. Hold on a moment there. Yeah, or it is also I sound really worst kind of person of ancient that never comes to school. I was thinking, reminds me of Persona 4. Actually, there was a. I'm not going to say which character almost did a similar thing in Persona 4 to avoid spoiling it, but there was a similar situation in that as well. Completely different though. Well, similar situation-ish, sort of. Whatever. Rambling. Not really thinking about it, I grab her hand. My reflexes are terrible and I managed to only grasp onto a few of her fingers. But it's unimportant. Sorry, it's just that you said something pretty weird just now.
Yeah, I guess that's right, Hee-chan.
Yeah. Do you want to know what I think? Shizune is the type of person who won't let anyone close to her except on her terms. It's frustrating, sometimes it's even infuriating. That probably would have bothered me when I was in the hospital and anyone who shut me out was dead to me. I'd forgotten all about it until recently. I got a letter and it was all about that. I was mad, I thought. How can you accuse me of closing myself off from everyone giving up? Isn't that what everyone else did to me? What else am I supposed to do? What can I do? Yeah, even now I know that's how it happened, but she's right too. I did close myself off. So I made up my mind that I'm not going to let that be the case ever again.
The hospital? He-chan, is that what those pills are for?
Just listen, please. Shizune is the opposite of how I was. She's always wanted to draw people closer to her. That's the only reason Shizune was interested in me in the first place, I think. I think I was determined to not let that happen in a way. Misha casts her eyes downwards, understanding perfectly. I never realized how hard that can be. And now I feel like I'm going to return the favor, even if it takes twice as long. I already learned a second language just to get this far. It wasn't as hard as I thought, but it was definitely hard. Sometimes I felt like I was clawing my way up a mountain with how my hands hurt. And you did the same thing. It was for the same reason, wasn't it? That's really amazing. Which is why it makes me sad and a little angry that you would say a stupid thing like that. That's just what I believe anyway. Her shoulders slump and Mishoma slides to the floor like she is drained of all energy.
You're too dramatic, He-chan.
She says while looking away, turning her head almost as if she wants to look out at the school grounds, but not turning it enough to do so. Dramatic? But she was literally about to jump off the roof. That's way more dramatic than freaking Sao's being right now, that's for sure. The door behind her opens, the sound only barely able to be heard over the ambient breeze. Did I read that? Yes, while looking, I turn her head almost as if she wants to look out at the school grounds, but not turning enough to do so. I've been looking everywhere for you two. Is this some secret meeting? She walks over to us, leaning against the fence next to Misha as if she needs to stop and catch her breath before pushing herself off it and continuing. You know, honestly, this was where I thought the bad ending would kick in, you know? When we originally saw this scene. Because, like, I remember hearing that Hisao dies or something in a bad ending. But, again, it must have just been the Kenji bad ending thing. Because it didn't happen, did it? I'm bored sitting in the student council room every day now, without Tyler of you ever coming by. Taking some time off is fine, but this is just too much. Have I been reading those lines when I ramble off? Goes over the leads against Vance as they show to catch her breath. We all push herself up and continue. I read it. Normally Misha and I would be jokingly making an excuse of ourselves at this point. This time there's only silence. Tsuneo is expecting resistance, is thrown off balance by the lack of it. A few seconds pass in uneasy silence, which Tsuneo breaks with an ear-shattering snap of her fingers, smiling as if to say, Eureka! Let's go do something together. Like what? Anything. We should go to the student council room first, and then figure it out from there. Didn't he just say that out loud, though? Well, maybe he was signing it still, I don't know. That seems like a trick to get us to do work instead. Yeah, he's probably signing it as well. Very fun. Misha laughs, managed to let out a strained ha ha ha. That Shizune can't see it makes me feel better. It means that it wasn't only for her benefit. Let's think that you both actually could help me with something. What else is there? We can't go out to eat. We already ordered in yesterday. That was already breaking policy. 3 days in a row would be unforgivable. This is definitely different. The cheerful-ish music. Ow! Wasn't, you know, played the previous time. It was probably like some like Cage Heart, but now Comfort. I wonder if this is like a modal piece, but I don't know what chord sounds best over it. Because it's not the F sharp minor. The A major sounds alright. What are the chords in this? B minor sounds a bit better, but the A major still feels like more suited. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to figure out what chord suits it, but it feels like, I don't know, maybe it isn't modal. Probably is, I know. I can rule out the Aeolian one, I can rule out Lydian, and I can rule out Mixed Lydian. I don't know, maybe Phrygian. Nah, I kinda doubt that. Nah, it's probably just Ionian, so maybe it's a major then. A major to be exact. But whatever, I'm kind of like getting way off subject here. Yeah, I read that. But that was ordering in, Shi-chan. Going out to eat is different. Yeah, totally different. You're both kidding yourselves. Before I can reply, she then grabbed my hand, limiting my ability to do so. My options cut down so drastically, I have no choice but to settle for making a face at her instead. She makes one back, before extending her hand to Misha as well. When Misha is reluctant to take it, I walk forward as far as holding on to Shune at the same time will allow me, and take her hand myself. She only has a second to smile before Shune starts pulling us impatiently towards the door, binding us together like a human chain. Aww, that's adorable. Although it's dangerous, none of us seem to think of letting go any step of the way through the school, out the doors and across the grounds. Adorable! The hair actually does suit her. Like, I think this, well, has she had a CG with her hair like that? Oh, she has, yeah. In those scenes, and when she had her eyes closed that one time. Wait, who's that in the background? Probably just, well, actually, there's a few people in the back. Wait. Nah, can't be. But honestly, looking at the background makes me think of Little Busters. It's like, hey, that's Mew from Little Busters, and then like looking at it, it's like, wow, is that like Kyosuke and Masato and all that, Kengo and shit, what was his name? Protagonist. Riki, yeah, that was his name. Just like when it's like, but that wouldn't make sense. Then why would Miu be there, like older and I don't know. It's just what I thought of. I don't know. Maybe they're just like, hey, why don't we like? Well, I have no idea. It's like that freaking CC thing again, where it looks like she's in the background. It literally looks like her, you know. Even the clothes kind of remind me of her. But whatever. This feels familiar as we walked like this before, the three of us, hand in hand. Of course, the mood was a lot happier then. I can see the lingering sadness on their faces, but it makes me wonder if anything has really changed. If this is all just a distraction or not. But I think it's just me slipping back into being cynical because of the moment. It's a start. So what happened to your optimism, Yoshiyuki? No. It's Sao, not Yoshiyuki. You're thinking the wrong freaking visual novel here. Act 4, to my other self. Isao's other self is apparently Yoshiyuki. Honestly, not really. For one thing, Isao is not really all that dense, surprisingly. Well, he can be dense, but then again, most protagonists are. But he's not like Captain Dense, Yoshiyuki, or... Actually, what was his name Rind or something like that? From Shuffle. Was he also dense? Probably. It's been a long time since that LP. Only a day later, the weekend has already arrived. I drop a heavy stack of books on the librarian's desk, not meaning to slam them, but the way to so much that it happens anyway, and there's the skippable.
Yep. We've seen this scene. And this one. Nothing changes, it's all the same as it's been up till this point. I mean, imagine if I freaking, you know... Oh yeah, I'm gonna be speeding this up as well, so that's gonna sound weird, isn't it? It's Hideaki the Trap! The Trap Hideaki. And the shithead Jigoro. But imagine if I went through all this, you know, again. You know, how many freaking parts would that add on? Because it's the same scene playing out. Same scenes, I mean. It seems like Misha kind of distanced itself from Suzune regardless.
Well, I see less of Misha in the following days, but I don't worry because when I do see her, she looks a bit more like her old self each time. Oh, so well, is that really just like, because you didn't end up sleeping with her, it makes things turn out for the better? I mean, that freaking scene gets forgotten pretty soon after it, you know? Heck, you know, like, aside from the leading into Act 4, it really not much of a difference, really. Well, actually, there were a few, but whatever. Which is clear enough that I don't have to be afraid of it being my wishful thinking coloring my perceptions. I start to relax again. I wake up very early and feeling sick on Sunday. I went to sleep too early last night. Some things also wrong with my curtains, and they won't close completely. Because of that, I can't even attempt to go back to sleep. The sun hits me in the eyes every time. I'm sure this is probably why I woke up so early this morning as well. Being sick and tired is a perfect storm of frustration. I'm almost glad when there's a knock at the door. It's a familiar person holding an almost completely eaten apple in his hand. Taking one last bite, he attempts to shoot it into the trash can and misses completely. It smashes it apart on the wall 2 meters too high. Seriously, Kenshi, you hijacked this route many times, and even towards the end of it, it's like, no, I'm getting one more scene, bitch. Heck, you might even get another one for all I know. To be fair, most of the pieces afterwards do manage to fall into the trash can, but I'm pretty sure no one is some reason that they would be aiming to do something like this in person. Perfect shot! Sup, roomie? Whatever. So what's this gonna lead to? I have no idea, but there's like 4 scenes left for this route. Including this one, I think. But I've been recording for quite some time now, so call it recording there, and I shall see you next time, viewers. See you next time.